Hello everyone and welcome to your guide to popular builds and Heroes of the Storm. My name is Saren Death and today we'll be checking out what I'm dubbing Thrall's Lightning Fury build. But before we get into any of that, a quick disclaimer. These guides are not written in stone. They are here to point you in the right direction, but ultimately they are a tool to help you learn the hero on your own. Now that we've gotten through that, let's take a look at Thrall. He is a melee assassin from the Warcraft universe and has had a vital role in shaping modern Azeroth. He was one of the founding members of the Modern Horde, he assisted in defeating a tantrum-throwing dragon Deathwing, and helped restore the elemental balance, all while walking, talking, and chewing bubblegum. Now he brings his multitasking, dragon slaying, and elemental owning skills to the Nexus. His kit allows him to be an aggressive lane bully with a huge presence in teamfights as he looks to burst down enemies. Before we get into his talent build, let's take a look at his skills. His trait is called Frostwolf Resilience. This is a passive that grants a stack whenever you deal damage with an ability. When you reach 5 stacks, you are instantly healed for a large amount. This is an absolutely fantastic passive that gives Thrall a great deal of sustain both in lane and during team fights. His Q is called Chain Lightning. This is a 6-second cooldown targeted ability that deals moderate damage to the initial target and then bounces to 2 nearby enemies, dealing half damage. This is a great short cooldown poke that can give you a nice advantage in the laning phase and can do some solid damage in team fights. His W is called Feral Spirit. This is a 12-second cooldown skill shot that sends out a Feral Spirit, dealing moderate damage to enemies in its path. If it hits an enemy hero, it will stop and root them in place for 1 second. This is a strong ability that not only does some damage, but can help you clear a lane if you need it, and the root can allow you to get some nice follow-up damage on an enemy, possibly giving you a chance to take them down. Thrall's E is called Windfury. This is a 12-second cooldown that increases your movement speed by 25% for 4 seconds, and your next 3 basic attacks occur 100% faster. This ability not only allows you to get into combat a bit faster, or escape if you find yourself in a bad situation, but it also provides you a lot of burst damage with the increased attack speed, and, as an added bonus, each hit will give you a stack of your Frostwolf Resilience. Now that we've covered his basic abilities, let's take a quick look at his heroics. His first heroic is called Sundering. This is an 80-second cooldown skill shot that after a short delay splits the earth along the skill shot line. It will deal massive damage to enemies hit and shoves them to the side, stunning them for 1.5 seconds. This is a very strong heroic that can have a massive impact on a team fight. With a perfectly lined shot, you can stun and displace the entire enemy team, allowing your team to dominate them. Thrall's second heroic is called Earthquake. This is a 60-second cooldown that summons a massive earthquake that lasts for 10 seconds, periodically slowing enemies in the area by 70%. This is a solid zoning tool that also provides you with the opportunity to really disrupt the enemy team. The area of this ability is very large, but the biggest drawback is that the slow comes in pulses, which gives the enemy time to just move out of the area. But if used at the right time, it can give your team a massive advantage. Now that we've covered his base abilities, let's get into the talents. At level 1, you're going to go with Rolling Thunder. This is going to increase Chain Lightning's range by 30%, and attacking enemies recently hit by Chain Lightning restores 10 mana. This is a great talent that gives you some much needed mana sustain in the lane, with the added bonus of extending your poke range. And just in case you lost track of who was hit by Chain Lightning, enemies that have been recently hit by Chain Lightning will have some lightning on them, so you know which ones will give you back your mana. At level 4, you're going to go with Ride the Lightning. This lets Chain Lightning hit 2 additional enemies for 50% damage. This talent really synergizes well with not only the first talent, allowing you to get more mana back, but also your Frostwolf Resilience, which means you are getting more stacks and will heal more often. At level 7, you're going to go with Follow Through, which boosts the damage of your next basic attack within 6 seconds of using an ability by 40%. This talent fits rather well into Thrall's kit and can give you some amazing burst damage. For Thrall's heroic, you're going to go with Sundering. While Earthquake has its uses, it can be countered by simply walking out of it. Sundering, however, can quickly swing a team fight in your favor. It's just hard to pass up an ability that does a large amount of damage, displaces the enemy, and stuns them. At level 13, you have a choice to make. If you're looking at getting more sustain out of your trait, then you will go with Grace of Air. This makes your Windfury attacks grant twice as many stacks of Frostwolf Resilience. This means that getting off all 3 hits with your Windfury will give you 6 stacks, which is enough to instantly heal you and get you started towards your next heal. If you're looking at getting a bit more damage, or the enemy team has a lot of high health heroes, then you may want to go with Giant Killer. Now basic attacks against enemy heroes deal bonus damage equal to 1.5% of the hero's max health. With Windfury, this can come out to a lot of extra burst damage, even on squishy targets. And while it's not listed here, Spell Shield is not a bad choice at this talent tier if the enemy has a lot of mages and you're having a hard time engaging on them. At level 16, you have another choice to make. Your first choice is Tempest Fury. Now the final strike of your Windfury hits 3 times for 75% of the normal damage. This is a very nice bit of burst damage, and these hits all grant stacks of Frostwolf Resilience, which means that the single activation of Windfury will grant you the heal. This talent also synergizes well with Grace of Air if you went that talent at level 13. Your other choice is Forked Lightning. This allows you to hold 2 charges of Chain Lightning, which can be used in quick succession. This talent can be good if you're looking to get a bit more poke or some safe damage in. One thing to keep in mind is that you don't need to cast both Chain Lightnings back to back, and with its short cooldown, you should be able to put out a pretty steady stream of damage. At level 20, you once again have a choice to make. This choice really comes down to personal preference. If you're looking at picking up a solid escape, or you want to get some cheeky engagements in, then Bolt of the Storm is for you. This is a 70-second cooldown that allows you to teleport to an area, giving you a great deal of flexibility. If you're looking for some extra damage, then you will want to go with Nexus Blades. This increases your basic attack damage by 20%, and you get the added bonus of slowing enemies you hit by 20% for 1 second. Thrall's Lightning Fury build is a very strong build that lets him be a bully in the lane, with very powerful self-sustain. He has great burst damage with good poke, and he has a semi-escape with Windfury's movement speed. However, his wave clear isn't that strong. Without his self-healing, he can be rather squishy, so watch out for those stuns, and he can run into mana problems if he isn't able to smack the people he is hitting with his Chain Lightning. Alright, now that we've gone over all of that, let's go over some quick tips for Thrall. In lane, make sure you're targeting the enemy hero you're laning against with Chain Lightning, so you're getting the maximum amount of damage on them. This will allow you to bully them out of lane, or if they stick around for too long, give you a chance to take them down. Always keep an eye on your Frostwolf Resilience stacks using the wolf icon right above your character's health bar. This will give you an idea of whether you can stick around a fight, or if you need to back out. And knowing when the heal is coming can give you a massive advantage if you find yourself in a 1v1 situation. This one may seem like a no-brainer, but don't walk into a bush face first. Thrall may seem tough, but he is still an assassin, and if you walk into an ambush, you will die, and you will die very quickly. So, instead of walking into that bush, check it with Feral Spirit. If there's an enemy lying in wait, well, now they have taken some damage, and they are rooted. If there wasn't, the only thing lost is a 12-second cooldown and some mana. And don't be afraid to initiate with Sundering. The ability has a pretty long cooldown, but as long as you hit a few enemies, the damage, stun, and displacement will put the enemy team at such a deficit at the start of a team fight that your team should have no problem quickly moving in and scoring a takedown or two. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this guide helpful. If you have any variations or tips for this build, feel free to share them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I will catch you all later.